Brady in the lab, got the stats on the slab. Crunching numbers mad like a nerdy with a white badge. Shuffle through metrics, opponent sweating hectic. DFS legend, cash and checks, y'all skeptic. Digging deep, algorithm creep, data reaps. Caught him slipping breeze, ripping through the sheets like a scientist with a twist. Cool as ice, but with a fist. Bet boss, game cross, every player, he's the assist. Data detectives, angles intersected. Numbers dissected, every move perfected. In DFS we trust, never out of luck. Brady call a shot straight bucks, what's up? Charts and graphs, beyond the typical math. Riverboat brash, hit the cash, full stack smash. Contest kingpin, always in the wind. Watch him calculate in the pocket, grin. Excel sheets like 70 beats. Game theories neat, never face defeat. Patterns, decoders, strategic composure. DFS take over, Brady on the poster. Data detectives, angles intersected. Numbers dissected, every move perfected. In DFS we trust, never out of luck. Brady calling shots, straight bucks, what's up?
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the numbers, and welcome to Best Bet for UFC Vegas 93. We have Tatsuto Taira going against Alex Perez, and this is a card that has completely crumbled throughout the week. We lost the Ikram Aliskerov-Tricoli fight, and then we also lost my personal favorite fight on the card, Joshua Van versus Tagir Ulanbekov. So yeah, the card has certainly taken some hits, and it's going to be an interesting one. We have a late start time, so the fights start at 7, and I'm sure they're probably going to push it back even more since we lost 2 fights. So we might be up at like 1 a.m. watching Miles Johns versus Douglas Silva de Andrade. So, but yeah, as always, looking forward to the card. I am here with Gordo and Propaholic. We'll start with you, Gordo. Gordo, what is up? Are you looking forward to UFC Vegas 93?
I mean, I am, but are we just gonna gloss over that intro? You get yourself a little theme song going. I don't mind it. So there you go. I love all that. But no, fun fight card today. Well, I'm trying to be optimistic. It is one that took a couple hits, but happy to go out there and try to make some money on it anyways. Should be one that entertains. Hopefully, it's one that I still have some optimism for. So I'm looking forward to it. Wish everyone the best of luck on it, and excited to break it down.
Absolutely. We got Propaholic in the building. Prop, what are you looking forward to this card?
Yeah, I don't mind the card. Obviously, I'm a little bit disappointed we lost 2 fights on this card, but we still got some fun fights. There's going to be some violence, and there's always money to be made, so I'm ready.
Heck yeah, before we get into, if you guys could, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, go check these guys out as well, and let's hit up the chat before we get started. We got Gamblestein, first one in the building. What is up? Let's see. We have 6676. What is good? We got Brian in the building. We got Chronic Combat Conversations here to support some handsome mofos cashing some bets. Let's do it. Let's do it. We got Dixon Cider, Brady. What's popping? What's popping, Dixon? Hopefully you're doing well. Let's go. We got Sir and Armfield said it's Bootsy. And we got the Golden Octagon, going to be an internal battle. Staying up to watch this one. Good luck to everyone risking their hard-earned dollars on this card. Yeah, I woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning, so I'm already completely exhausted. But I'm sure I'll be able to push through it. But yeah, shout out to the Golden Octagon. If you guys like the intro, it came from him. So yeah, shout out to him. He hit me up, gave me 3 different song choices. One was like a Liang Na-based song. And I liked it, but I felt like in DFS We Trust was probably my favorite there. We got the Futon Bets. What is up? Let's get it. We got Sean V in the building. And yeah, what is going on with FanDuel? FanDuel might need to get some help. It looks like they've locked their lines the last 2 or 3 hours. So not good. Not good. Hopefully they fix that. Xavier liking the new intro song in DFS We Trust. Appreciate you, Xavier. The song is Mad Gay. Appreciate you, Desi. I'm a straight man. I can assure you that. And then Nick loves the new intro song. Appreciate that. And DFS We Trust. Appreciate that. Dixon. Yeah, I think most people like it, but there'll always be somebody like Desi or DC or whatever the hell your name is that don't like it. Audio is on. Late start sucks balls. I agree. I would totally agree with that. And yeah, what is going on? Gordo, first time with no hat? What's up?
Don't make me put one on here. You're going to make me self-conscious.
I didn't wear a hat on my my main event breakdown, and people were like pissed off. I don't know why. We got a big supporter, Joshua Frick, in the building. A big supporter of our show, Stat Diggers on Sunday. What is up, Joshua Frick? About that Kim Winslow life? Oh, boy. We got Urban. What is up? Let's see. We got Brian saying, Brady, thanks for helping last week. Got the takedown in DK Katma. Heck yeah. Congrats, Brian. Always love getting some takedowns there. 303. Yes. So I wanted to go to International Fight Week so bad. I went for the last 5 or 6 years. And the tickets for this Connor card were cheapest price, $1,200. And I know it sucks that Connor's off the card, but I'm kind of happy because I might be able to go now. Like I can afford $300 ticket, but $1,200 wasn't happening. So yeah, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on these UFC 303 tickets. I might be heading to International Fight Week in 2 weeks. Heck yeah. All right, guys, I say we get into it. We have a lot to talk about. 288 of you, 89 of you in here. If you guys could smash the like button, we do appreciate it. We're going to kick off the card with a strawweight fight. It is Josephine Knudsen going against Julia Palastri. We have Knudsen opening up minus 185, currently minus 200. Palastri opening up plus 160, currently a plus 170 underdog. Let's start with you, Propaholic. What are you liking for the first fight of the card?
I'm just going to go with the Knudsen decision prop. I think you can get plus 100. I just think she's going to be the minute winner here. I think she can land takedowns. I think she's going to keep the fight at range. And yeah, I mean, that's just really it. I don't really have a hot take on this fight, but I just feel like the plus 100 on her is the best number. I don't see a finish from either lady here. So it's going to be greasy. It's going to be close. And yeah, so I'll just pick the decision at plus 100.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to play her for sure. Gordo, what are you doing for the first fight of the card?
Yeah, I don't mind this nuts on girl. I think she's someone who has a multiple paths to victory. She's pretty well rounded. Not only does she have a good ability to go out there and win at range, but solid physicality in the clinch, solid takedowns, and she does have a pretty well rounded skill set. Is she the most entertaining fighter? No, but she knows how to win fights. She has multiple avenues to get it done this week. I do like her to get it done. Personally, I'm taking a little bit more of a risk here instead of just playing her by decision. I'm going to take her minus 3.5 point spread. I do think a finish can materialize, especially with how easily Palastri is taken down. If you're getting plus 110 on DraftKings here, I do not mind her to go over there and cover that. I think she can win this an avenue of ways, whether it be winning multiple rounds and covering that price tag or going out there getting a finish. I do think she is someone with the way better skill set, way more well-rounded. And although the competition is close in the feet, she's able to win the physicality in the clinch and potentially get takedowns there as well. I do think she wins this at a high clip, and I'm willing to pay for that point spread here.
Yep, I totally agree. The only concern I have with the point spread is these crooked, corrupt judges. Like one of these judges could have the fight 30-27 Knudsen. Another judge could have it 30-27 Palastri. And you're sitting there like, what the hell did this guy watch? I mean, how is that even possible to come up with such a ridiculous scorecard? And it's been like that the last 2 weeks, 302 and last week, the scorecards have been atrocious. But yeah, I don't mind that call as well. We got Blake saying, yo, DFS, I'm putting 10K on a single bet. What do I put it on? If you're putting 10K on a bet on this card, you have some serious balls, Mr. Blake. I mean, I don't think there's one spot I'd put 10K on this card personally. How about you guys? If you had 10K, what would you put it on?
Well, I'm just seeing DC recommending Jimmy Flick, and I will not agree with that. Let's put it that way, putting it nicely. To me, there's some interesting lines later in the card. I'm not one to go out there and place 10 bands, but it's certainly not on this one. Maybe when we get to a fight later, I'll be able to call out one of my shots here.
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe some type of violence in the Flick fight, but even that, like 10K on this card, I don't know. 10K Taira, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. Man, that's inside the distance. I don't hate it. I don't know about 10K though, but I don't hate that. 10K on Quinlan sub.
You'll be rich if it hits.
They will be rich. All right, so both guys going on the Knudsen side. Propaholic taking the decision, and then Gordo taking the minus 3.5 point spread. And then we also have one pass for this card since we only have 11 fights. Moving on, we got Mel Costa going against Shalian Nerdenbeke. We got Mel Costa opening up minus 135, currently minus 205. Shalian Nerdenbeke opened up as a plus 115 underdog. He is currently a plus 175 underdog. We will start with Gordo. What are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, I think this fight is a pretty close one, but one that's pretty binary. I think at range, the better kickboxer here is going to be Melquizio Costa. I think he's someone who is able to utilize that body work, able to use that variety of strikes he has. But when he's pressured, when he's put in the back foot, when the distance is closed on him, I think he loses a lot of his, let's say, attributes here. I think he's someone who can be held against occasionally. He's someone who can be taken down, and he loses a lot of his skills when he is on his back against cage and that distance is closed. Do I think that Costa can find a kill shot here? Potentially. But if not, I can trust a guy like Nerdenbeke to go out here and shoot takedowns and land them at a pretty high clip. I just think this line is wide. So I'm going to go with the underdog shot here on Nerdenbeke. I see plus 175 is the best one. And I'm willing to take that shot that's able to go out there and land takedowns and break Costa at a pretty high clip. Although Costa is someone who is going to be a dynamic striker, he doesn't have that same power when the distance is closed on him. And I think with multiple takedowns, with all that energy being zapped out of him early, I think we can see whether it be a late finish for Nerdenbeke here or a decision. I think he's someone whose line should be closer, and I will take the dog shot here.
All right, taking the dog shot there. You have best price plus 175 on Shalion and Nerdenbeke. Propaholic, what are you liking for this fight?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go with Costa by KO at plus 450. I think his left kick to the body is going to be the crucial factor here. Nerdenbeke kind of just swings overhand rights. He likes to get the single leg. He likes to get the fight to the ground. But as we've seen in his fights, he tends to slow down in the second and third round. And if Costa's working the body kicks and he's sprawling and it's on the feet, I think he's going to find a finish in the second or third round. In the Gomez fight back in the LFA, he actually showed really good sprawls as he got taken down. He has good BJJ as well. Like we've seen Nerdenbeke make mistakes and get his back taken and being put in potential arm bars against TJ Brown. I mean, that fight was just a complete mess. But I like Costa here. I know these are both the sons of Steve Garcia, but I think that Molecules Costa is going to work the body. I think he's going to find the kill shot, and I think he's going to keep it standing. So Costa KO plus 450 for me.
All right, Costa KO plus 450 for Propaholic. Gordo taking the Shalion and Nerdenbeke money line. So you guys are saying in the chat here, Shalion decision. Yeah, I think if he does win, it would be by decision. But I also think Propaholic's KO is super live, especially late there. Costa is going to gas Shalion round 3. Y'all should have listened last week when I said Reyes first round KO. I thought Reyes was extremely live. I just wasn't expecting a first round KO. I mean, that was kind of surprising, but yeah, glad to see Reyes get back in there. I want to pick Costa, but Shalion. Nerdenbeke is inactive. Is Costa coming back too soon here, though? That was a devastating finish from Garcia. Yeah, when was that fight? It wasn't too long ago, right? A couple months ago.
Yeah, but it would be interesting to see Nerdenbeke employ the same power.
Yeah, that's true. You're going 10K on Quinlan. Pray for me. Yeah, you do need prayed for, Blake. That's a lot of money on Josh. I'm picking him to win, but that's a lot of money on Mr. Josh Quinlan there. And not tempted to play Flick. I'm not tempted. I don't know about you. Has a rainbow-haired freak ever lost? Yeah, he did come in there with the rainbow hair. It was an interesting hairstyle choice for sure. And I'm not sure. I don't think so. Just off the top of my head, I can't think of one that has lost. 6 months might be enough. Could be. And FanDuel is locked on all fight. Yeah, I think they don't have boxing, MMA. I think there's some other sports they don't have as well. So I'm not sure what's going on, but hopefully they get them up by fight time. All right, guys, let's keep moving on. Oh boy, oh my, we got Jekka Sergi going against poor Weston Wilson. We got Jekka Sergi opening up minus 350. Currently minus 350. Poor Weston Wilson opening up plus 285. He's currently plus 285. We will start with Propaholic. What are you looking at for this fight here?
I mean, honestly, I'm just like, I think Jekka's going to knock him out in the first round, but I don't really like the number on it. So I'm going to go with the Wilson submission. I think you can get plus 525. I mean, Jekka's not really the most reliable fighter, and we've seen how he is on the ground and how Drew Lee was able to put him in bad positions. I actually think Wilson has pretty good BJJ. He's long, and there is a chance that he can catch a kick and get his back or something. I mean, he had Joe Anderson Brito in a pretty deep heel hook, and Brito was able to sprawl out of there and use his power and able to knock him out. But Brito's a good BJJ guy. I don't really see any experience of that's any good with Jekka on the ground. So, yeah, plus 25 for the guy's best win condition. If he's any smart and he's not going to eat punches, he's going to get to the fight to the ground, then plus 500 could look like a good number here.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, that's his win condition there. Gordo, how are you attacking this ridiculous fight?
Honestly, I think it's going to be a fun one. I think it's going to be such a meme fight that it's going to be pretty entertaining, whether it be the most likely outcome, which is Sergi hits that just completely wide open chin of Weston Wilson on the feet. That's probably the most likely outcome here. But if not, man, I completely agree with Propaholic. Sergi is not a good fighter. We know all the time fading a fighter with another fighter is not always the best thing to do here. Sergi, although he has power, that's all he has. He can be taken down very easily. I don't like his ground game. I don't like his ability to react to different positions. He's someone who's also given up in the past. I'm going to take a dog shot on Weston Wilson here. Now, I personally didn't see a submission line that wide, so I only have a inside the distance line here, and I'm okay with that. I think a positional KO could be a good use here. So give me Wilson inside the distance. The best line I saw was plus 350. Again, it's not 100% locked to happen, but I think it happens way more than line entails. Seragi is not good, so let's see how not good he actually is.
All right, both guys on the Weston Wilson side there. And yeah, I was looking at maybe playing a Weston Wilson first round sub prop this week as well. I was hoping for like a stupid number, but they're kind of all over. I think it was like plus 900, something like that. But yeah, I'm rooting for violence here one way or another. They should give Weston Wilson Diego Lopez next. Come on, man. I mean, that'd be terrible. Weston Wilson lives life in fight or flight mode. That he does. Weston Wilson is better suited than a guidance counselor than a fighter. Come on. Wheezy 2024. Yeah, I did see Wheezy in here. There he is. What is up? Wheezy saying, let's run through these bookies. Let's run these bookies into a dick saw. Let's do it, Wheezy. Let's do it. Let's see. Wilson isn't good, but Seragi isn't either. Agreed. Well, Weston Wilson is the partly buster this week. Yeah, if this fight hits the mat, I think he is subbing Jekka. It's just Wilson's head needs to stay attached up until then. Weston, no chin. Yeah, no chin at all. Jekka smokes cigs. Well, smoking cigs is one of the best bases in MMA, apparently. Who was the guy that fought Chucky?
It's the Carlos Prates.
Yeah, Carlos Prates smokes a ton of cigs. More cigs than Keith Peterson, which is one hell of a feat for sure. Today is the day we get a ton of crowns for UFC. Silva hardly even tried to knock out that complete dummy. Yeah, he did. He was messing around in there. Thoughts on Armfield KO plus 250? I think it's pretty live. Jekka hangs out with Keith Peterson. Oh boy, hopefully not on fight day. How many parlays would the over 2.5 in the Jimmy Flick fight ruin if it's the square pick of the week? It ruined my parlay. That's for sure. And Maurice Green also smokes. Well, he's the one exception. He's not that great. All right, let's keep moving on. We have Gabriela Fernandez going against Carly Judice, a line that has closed up a lot throughout the week. Fernandez opened at minus 155. She went all the way down to minus 260. She is back to minus 160. As far as Judice, she opened up plus 135. She was as high as plus 220, and then she is back down to plus 140. We will start with you, Propaholic. What are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm going to use my pass here. I don't have a bet on this fight. I think it's going to be greasy. I think the scorecards are going to be all over the place. And, yeah, I just want absolutely nothing to do with this fight. But I'm picking Fernandez to win. I do think she's more physical. I think she can win moments up against the fence. And I think she's more powerful. But, yeah, Carly's going to keep walking forward. She has good high kicks. She's a good athlete. And she can try to wear Gabriela down as well. So, should be a little bit of an entertaining fight, but it's definitely going to be greasy, so I'm completely staying off this one.
All right, Propaholic using up his first and only pass for the day. Gordo, what are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, not much, but I need my pass for another fight. So we're going to go with something on this one. Personally, the way I see this one going is although Judice is a complete unknown, she's someone with only a couple of fights. We haven't really seen her grapple proactively. That unknown, the only sample size I have of her is although she's durable, she eats so many shots. She's still going to be a slower striker. And although Fernandez has been stuck on bottom position, that's against girls with wrestling history and someone who's been able to take people down to the ground. Fernandez is a phenomenal power striker, in my opinion. She is someone who has a good striking, although with having no ground game, that kind of holds her back, and she's fought two people who are primary wrestlers. Judice is not a wrestler. We saw her go out there, absorb 183 strikes against Karakate last time. She is someone who, although is tough, does not have the best striking defense, and it's a big difference going from someone who is just a pure range puncher like Karakate or someone who throws powerful kicks like Fernandez and throws powerful shots like her. And I do think it's someone that, although Judice can go out there and potentially wrestle, I haven't seen enough of a sample size to trust that long term. So in that case, I am picking Fernandez to win. I do think she is someone who can not only win with moments, but just really land a lot more devastating shots, land on Judice at will from what I've seen. And although there's a lot of questions I wanted to answer before putting my hard-earned money on it, I can put this theoretical best bet in here right here. So instead of just taking Fernandez money line, she's not subbing anybody. Give me the KO or decision, minus 140. I see that best available there. I think she's able to go out there, either get a knockout or someone who eats shots like Judice with her face, or get a dominant decision. Either way, I'm not sure that training for a year and a foundation of softball is the best base for MMA.
Yeah, man, this fight is one that I am passing on as well. But yeah, you're kind of forced to play this one. So Gordo taking the Fernandez KO decision, minus 140 to get the money line down a little bit. Fernandez by boring decision. I don't think this fight's going to be boring, actually. I think it's going to be a fun fight, like entertainment fight. It's just a fight I don't really want to bet on. Judice should be a minus 300 fave. I completely disagree. Fernandez, easy. I kind of disagree with that as well. Dude, where's Uncle Wheezy? Wheezy will be on Stat Diggers tomorrow on Sunday. And then Wheezy will be back on Best Bet maybe next week. We got to switch. We have 10 guys here. We got to switch up the rotation every week there. I'd rather lay pipe on Fernandez than Juice. What does that even mean, Remdog? What does that even mean? Remdog with the raw dog. Okay, I got you. Fernandez got mauled by Bleda and Jazz the Vicious, but it's just a completely different matchup here. All right, let's move on to, holy crap, money's coming in on Nate Maness. Nate Maness is now a minus 700 favorite. Holy crap, I never thought I'd see that in the UFC. Jimmy Flick is a plus 500 underdog. So yeah, money pouring in on Nate Maness here. It's a lot of chalk to lay on the guy. But yeah, Gordo, did you find anything on this fight that you like?
Honestly, I did, and it's not maybe the best number. It's not the prettiest thing, to say the least, but to me, it's a fight that I do think is Jimmy Flick fight. And whenever I see him go out there, unless your name is Malcolm Gordon, who we're not going to talk about as the face of Canadian MMA, Flick is a guy who typically likes to fight early, try to go for it all, and then it typically slows down the later the fight goes. He is a better hammer than he is a nail, and he is someone who doesn't always have the resiliency to fight late in fights. I think he's someone who does seem to wilt after that first round, although he can throw up all the meme submission he wants. I personally think as long as this fight gets extended, Maness is able to have some success. I also see that Flick is someone who likes to pull a guard, who is willing to be a more durable fighter, but tend to give up later in the fight goes. So although I think that a Maness round one finish is completely possible, I'm willing to take the shot on a better paying round two, where we've seen Flick give up in the past, where we've seen Flick succumb to more strikes. I think Maness is able to go out there, wear him down round one, finish him round two, and I see plus 325 for that. Give me Maness round three. I also don't mind the round two, plus 325. I also don't mind the round three at plus 1100, but I think the round 2 KO is more likely to happen than not. Should be an interesting one. I just think Flick sells out and then gives up if he doesn't get it.
Is it just the round 2 in general plus 325, or is it the round 2 KO?
Round 2 in general plus 325.
Okay.
Both up.
So Maness round 2 plus 325 for Gordo. Propaholic, what are you doing for this fight here?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go with the fight doesn't start round 2 at minus 110 on DraftKings. I mean, this is a Jimmy Flick fight, and I actually think Maness hits pretty hard. He has good counter strikes as well, and I think his takedown defense is going to hold up here. He showed good ground and pound in his last fight as well, escaping all those submissions. And I mean, I had Jimmy Flick against Malcolm Gordon because it's Malcolm Gordon, and Malcolm Gordon sucks. And I mean, Malcolm Gordon literally cracked him on the first punch and had Jimmy Flick wobbling. And I just think Maness is going to be able to cover range. I think he's going to be able to hit Flick pretty easily here. We know Flick's a punching bag. He needs a flying triangle to literally win fights, and he needs to be on his back. And we even saw Charles Johnson finish this guy in the first round. Johnson doesn't really finish anyone at this level. And I think Maness has good power. So, yeah, it's a square bet, but I don't think this fight's going to even get out of the first round. So give me that fight doesn't start round 2 at minus 110 on DraftKings.
All right, Maness fight won't start round 2, minus 110 for Propaholic. Gordo taking the Maness round 2 plus 325. I think one of you two will certainly be right. We'll have to see which one is right, though. $10,000 on Jimmy Flick at plus 500. No. The time to bet Jimmy Flick, no offense, Gordo, was against Malcolm Gordon when Malcolm Gordon was like minus 200 something. But no, I don't think now's the time to bet Jimmy Flick. I mean, I think it's a brutal matchup for him. But if you're going to bet Jimmy Flick, you might as well bet like the first round sub or something. Good luck to you as well. Maness easy. I should make it look pretty easy. Maness sub, have a shot. Flick has never been subbed, but maybe Flick like taps the strikes. Maybe he taps the strikes. I don't know. Maness round 2 is fire. It will look fire if Flick's able to survive those first 5 minutes. I agree. Round 1 and round 2 finish for Maness is minus 250. Good parlay piece. It's chalky, but I think it comes through. And you heard it. I mean, I think we all agree with that. So I think, but yeah, I think he should get it done. Let's see. Nabra, I took Wilson and Sergey to start round 2 for 10K. That is the sweat of a lifetime right there. Yeah. Maness is underrated. Yeah, I personally underrate him, I'd say, but yeah, this is a matchup I don't think he should be losing. All right, let's keep moving on to was that the featured prelim? Let me see here.
I don't even know at this point, man.
I don't know. They've changed the bout order around 50 times on me. I don't know what's which, and it looks like that was The feature prelim. Okay, so we'll do a quick recap of these bets. And we don't have a ton to talk about. Only 11 fights today. But yeah, Propaholic taking Knutson decision plus 100, Costa KO plus 450, Wilson sub plus 525, passing on the Fernandez fight, and taking Maness fight won't start round 2 minus 110. Prop, does that look correct?
Yeah, that looks correct, Brady.
And then Gordo, you were taking Knutson minus 3.5 point spread plus 110. Nerd and Becke money line plus 175. Weston Wilson inside the distance plus 350. Fernandez KO decision minus 140. And then Maness round 2 plus 325. Gordo, does all that look correct to you?
It does. It does.
All right, sounds good. So we are done with these prelims. We'll move on to the main card. Before we do so, if you guys could, let's get those likes up. If you're not going to do it for me, Gordo, or Prop, do it for poor Weston Will. Actually, maybe poor Jimmy Flick, because I kind of feel bad for Jimmy Flick as well. Throwing him in there with hard-hitting Nate Maness. So do it for Jimmy Flick. Do it for Weston Wilson. Let's get those likes up and showing support for those two. Douglas Steroids de Andrade. I've never heard that. That is very clever. Douglas Steroids de Andrade. Let's go, Brady. You're a legend for doing this low-level card. Yeah, I mean, I would. The goal is to do every card, no matter how good or how bad. But I'm hoping this card delivers. All right. Let's move on to the main card opener then. We have Josh Quinlan going against Adam Fugit. We got Josh Quinlan opening up minus 145, currently minus 130. Adam Fugit opening up as a plus 125 underdog, currently plus 110. We'll start with Prop. What do you like him for this main card opener?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the fight ends by knockout on Bet Rivers. I have a bet on it for 1 unit. It's plus 100. I just feel like both guys have pretty bad striking defense. I know Adam Fugit likes to throw that switch kick to the body, and that's where Josh Quinlan actually knocked out Jason Witt with that same exact kick that Fugit likes to go to a lot. So look out for that here. I think Fugit has some good power as well. He can crack. We saw him hit Morales pretty good early. He destroyed Kinoshita. He knocked him down and elbowed him out of there. And Mike Malott was able to knock him down as well. And Quinlan has some real power. I think his striking defense is really bad as well. Like the way he closes range, he kind of just walks into shots in order to land a big power shot. And I don't really think both guys have a high submission game either. I don't really see anyone coming out grappling here. And if there is going to be grappling, I think Fugit can get a ground and pound finish. I think Fugit's live to get knocked out. I think Quinlan's live to get knocked out as well. He was knocked out pretty bad last fight. And yeah, so it's plus money, and I just feel like it's going to be on the feet for a long time. So fight ends by knockout at plus 100 for me here. I think someone's going to get served.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I didn't bet this fight personally, but I don't hate that look. Gordo, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm going and doing something I said I'd never do again, and that's pick Josh Quinlan in this matchup here. I don't think he's a guy who has had the best luck with his matchups recently, but I also don't think you can count his most recent opponents and compare them to someone like Adam Fugit here. He is a guy who has lost 2 fighters who are rangier, who have been able to keep him on the outside and not allow him to close distance. But Fugit doesn't really fight at that same style. Fugit is a guy who wants to be a brawler, utilize his resiliency, and go out there and fight deep later in fights. And although he's able to have heart, be someone to cheer for, you only know someone as heart when they're getting beat up pretty bad. And I do think when it comes down to absorbing damage, Fugit absorbs a lot of it. He can be rocked. He can be out grappled on the mat as well. And he just has a bunch of flaws, especially when it comes down to entering striking exchanges. And although Josh Quinlan has struggled against the range of previous fighters, he still has powers. I think he still has decent entries when it comes down to landing the striking here. And I think he's just a better, more competent technical boxer of the two. In the physical clinch exchanges, I do favor him in this matchup. I think he's someone who maybe is back on the juice after the USADA being out of it. But it's just a guy who I just favor to win a lot more of the exchanges. I think is a better technical fighter than the two. And although I like Fugit to be an underdog and a guy with resiliency, he is someone who I don't rate as highly long-term. So give me Josh Quinlan. Just give me to win straight up. I don't care if it's winning more moments via decision. I don't care if it's by KO. I think he has all the tools to get it done. I'm trusting him one last time, and I'm ready to have my heart broken.
Quinlan money line looks like best price, like 130.
I see, yeah, minus 130.
Okay, sounds good to me. So Gordo taking the Quinlan money line minus 130. Prop taking the fight ends by knockout plus 100. 1 like equals 1 prayer for Jimmy Flick. Yeah, poor Jimmy Flick. Let's get Brady 150 likes on this card would be insane. Quinlan winsless. I agree. I don't have a ton of faith in the guy. Anyone can knock out Witt. Yeah, a gust of wind can knock that guy out. Let's see here. What is up, Adam? Hopefully you are looking forward to some fights today. Fugit definitely a good dog. He has that dog in him. I'll say that. Fugitt has a 5-inch reach advantage, and Quinlan is too sloppy. You're about to get served. I hope not. I hope I don't get served tonight. I don't have a ton of action on this card, so it'd be hard to get served, but we'll see. Let's see. It's drug-free sport instead of USADA. Yeah, this is post USADA. Josh Quinlan could be a monster. Plus 700 for Quinlan by sub Sprinklet. He is a black belt, but I don't know how good of a grappler he actually is. So
Subbing Dallas, my bad, Brady, but subbing Dallas Jennings isn't the most impressive thing ever. Dallas Jennings sucks.
Yeah, I don't know who Dallas Jennings is. Yeah.
That's the last Josh Quinlan sub.
Yeah, it is a big number. He's a black belt, but I would lean KO. But I'm not betting this fight personally. All right, I am betting this next fight, though. And we have Asu Almabayev going against Jose Johnson, another massive favorite here. And Asu Almabayev, he opened up minus 425. He went all the way down to minus 700. He is back to minus 465. Jose Johnson opened up plus 355, went as high as plus 500. He is back down to plus 365. We will start with Gordo. What are you liking for this flyweight fight?
Yeah, I'm all over Almabayev this week, whether it be DraftKings, whether it be to pick to win this fight here. And although Jose Johnson has this size factor, I don't necessarily know how well this weight cut is going to treat him, especially facing a guy who is as dominant as a wrestler as Almabayev. He is someone who we have seen shoot takedowns. We have someone who we have seen flow really well from top control. And Jose Johnson, although a long-rangey striker, can be taken down so easily, can be controlled so it can be passed so easy on the mat as well, and makes a lot of these fundamental errors. Although Almabayev is someone who not only can shoot multiple takedowns, he's also someone who can show ability to finish fights. I saw him finish that fight live against Ode Osborne in Nashville. I saw his quick transitions. He's someone who I do think is going to have a clear speed advantage against a guy like Jose Johnson on the mat. And shall it go down there, I think he is just levels above. Additionally, I saw his cardio hold up, landing 9 takedowns against a guy in Vergara there. And Vergara is a guy who I think will show more resistance than Jose Johnson, who was just take it down pretty easily. Although I don't want to completely rule out Almabayev wanting to strike here in this matchup. I do think he takes him down early. I do think he is levels above on the ground. And although I don't expect a twister, it is one where I do think Almabayev has an advantage there. Getting him to win by submission, I see minus 110 as best available. You can, if you find anything better, but I do think he has the ability to go out there and submit him. People who are able to put themselves in twister positions shouldn't really be surviving too long against a guy as dominant as Almabayev.
All right. Almabayev by sub at minus 110. I like it. Probaholic, what do you like for this fight?
Yeah, I completely agree with Gordo here. I'm actually going to go with the same thing. I have a bet on the Almabayev submission as well. I mean, Jose Johnson has like the worst takedown defense I've honestly ever seen. And Almabayev is a complete dominant wrestler. And I see a lot of people taking the decision prop on him this week. Vergara actually has really good submission defense, and he was in a lot of bad spots against Taira in the first round. And it took Taira having to go from his back and pull for a triangle armbar in order to get Vergara out of there. So I actually think Vergara has better submission defense than Jose Johnson. And as Gordo said, like getting twisted on the ground, like it just kind of shows like the hole in your ground game, especially in the BJJ. And I just think Almabayev subbing Ode Osborne. I think Ode Osborne is higher level than Jose Johnson. And yeah, I just think this is a clear fight for Almabayev. I think they're trying to build him up for a top contender. And yeah, I think he's going to go through Jose Johnson. I know there's a lot of physical and reach here for him, but his takedown defense is just way too bad, man. And I think he's going to make a fundamental mistake on the ground and give up his neck. So yeah, give me that Almabayev submission. You're getting minus 110 compared to minus 600 on him.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's most likely is sub as well. Could be a decision, obviously, but I think the sub's gonna be super live. Jose Johnson, no takedown defense, and it's been submitted 4 times, so I like it. I'm on the sub 2-3 personally.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like it as well. Johnson only. Yeah, I was actually surprised it was that high. I thought it was gonna be like 10%. I mean, you watch this guy fight, and he's getting taken down by just a gust of wind. So hopefully they shut all the doors in the apex today, because if not, a gust of wind might roll through and Johnson might end up on his back. It's some of the worst taking defense I've ever seen. Betting on Weston Wilson, Jimmy Flick, and Jose Johnson. One of these guys finds the finish for sure. I think my favorite out of those 3, believe it or not, would be Weston Wilson. But I think all 3 of them probably do get served. But if I had to pick one, it would be Weston Wilson. I'm rooting hard for Weston Wilson. I truly am. But we shall see what happens. Let's see. Highest score on DK is going to be Almabayev. I could see that, certainly. Over under 10 takedowns, slightly under there. We got Uncle Rafi saying, Brady, how's the Texas Roadhouse lifestyle? Real ones know that. Yeah, real ones do know that because that lifestyle was like 4 years ago. After my Friday live streams, I'd go and get some Texas Roadhouse. But I haven't had Roadhouse in a while, so kind of miss it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, let's move on to the next fight. It is Garrett Armfield going against Brady Heston. I'm really looking forward to this one. We got Garrett Armfield opening up -220. He's down to -230. Brady Heston opened up +185. He's currently a +195 underdog. I love this fight. I think after the Tagir and Van fight is off, this might be my favorite fight on the card. Maybe a hot take, but I love this fight. Striker versus grappler matchup. Two guys that I'm excited about. We will start with you, Gordo. What are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, honestly, I completely agree. It's going to be a fun one. I would love to call it a striker versus grappler matchup as well. I agree on that front. Armfield's a guy who rated as a much better boxer here. He has a very good in and out movement. He's got solid power in his hands, and I think he's able to go out there and land the powerful shots on a guy like Heston, who doesn't absorb damage very well, who doesn't defend strikes very well. Let's put it that way. Armfield, I don't think won his last fight against Katona, but it showed that he is able to compete in the striking exchanges, and I do think he's going to have a clear striking edge over Heston here. Heston does not defend strikes very well. He is more of a pure grappler. He'll shoot takedowns at a very heavy pace. He'll force people to work, and if he can survive, which he has been able to recently, he can really force people to work. Now, Heston has also been dropped, so that is definitely a concern, and I do think that Armfield could have the power to put him out there, but truthfully, I don't know how much I like the numbers. Instead, I think the way this fight goes is if Armfield doesn't get the early finish, he tends to tire late. He has been finished late in a lot of these fights, and I do think that Heston is going to have the better cardio, have the better resiliency, and a path to victory for Heston is typically going to be later. So after giving two bets at a juiced price tag, let's have some fun. Let's get some plus money. Give me Brady Heston to win in round 3 at +2,500. I think he has the better cardio. I think Armfield's a guy who's typically his path to victory is going to be an early KO. And although Armfield has that power and Heston has been dropped, I think down the stretch, Heston is a guy with the much better cardio, a good grappling path to victory, and whose wrestling pace is going to tire a guy like Armfield a lot sooner. I think that number is way too generous for someone with style like Heston.
Yeah, man, I was looking at Heston round 2 and 3 all week. Me and Louise talked about it. We talked about the numbers, and I was shocked to see they had 2,500 for round 3 because I think it's going to be super, super live. So yeah, Heston round 3 +2,500. Gordo shooting for the moon on that one. Propaholic, what are you liking for this fight?
Yeah, I mean that's completely live here. I'm going to take the fight doesn't go to decision at +105. I actually have a track bet on the under 2.5, and Heston round 3 as well. But I think the pace of this fight is going to be pretty crazy. I mean, Armfield's going to push the pace on Heston in the first round. He has really good boxing. He has really slick counters. And Heston just doesn't have good striking defense at all, honestly. He's kind of a punching bag. He wants to get hit so he can grab you and get you to the mat. We saw Fernie Garcia drop him early. We saw Tercios have a lot of moments against him on the Ultimate Fighter final. And we saw him get dropped in his last fight against Dana as well. And Dana was fighting really low volume. And actually, Fernie Garcia and Dana have never been submitted. And we saw Heston get the back of them and put them in some pretty crucial spots, especially late in the fight. And we've seen Armfield slow down as he faces grapplers, especially in the Vogel fight. He slowed down. He dropped Vogel twice, and Vogel was able to drop him and then take his back and submit him right away. I think Heston has that dog in him, so I really like the fight doesn't go here. I think it's going to be a high pace. It's striker versus grappler here, and I don't think Armfield's going to want to really be at like kickboxing range where Heston can shoot a double leg. I think he's going to try to push the pace on him. I think he's going to try to damage him early, and he can gas out, and then Heston can get a ground and pound finish like he did in the 3rd round last fight because the guy never gives up, or he can get a late round submission as well. So yeah, I think violence is a pretty good bet here. So yeah, I like fight doesn't go here.
Yeah, I thought I was on an island with some violence in this fight. Like I think it is a violent fight. I think Armfield's live for a knockout early, and then Heston's live to potentially break him down the stretch. So the fight doesn't go at plus money. I do like as well. I like Armfield KO. I like these Brady late props also. I think they're all in play. Like an Heston there, and maybe like a Heston live bet potentially. I think it'd be interesting. Well, I want to see the line on that going into like the 2nd, 3rd round as well. But because he does get better and better as the fight goes on, and Armfield has slowed down, and really a lot of his fights, like multiple fights, he's slowing down. Armfield gets it done. I'm leaning that way. I expect Armfield to put on a masterclass on the feet if he's able to stuff takedowns. I think so. Armfield by KO. I think it's live. What is up, Chris? -100 for Jekka, Nate, and Asu all to win. You guys take it. 3-leg parlay -100. I don't know. I think it hits, but I mean, sweating 3 fights.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't
That
do it.
scares me as well.
Yeah, Jekka is not that great. Yeah, I wouldn't do it personally, but I think it hits. Oh, cute little voice. Appreciate you, RLJ. Let's see. FanDuel still not getting lines. Well, they have about an hour and 18 minutes to do so. Let's see here. We got Skywalker. What is up, Skywalker? It's been a while since we've talked. Hopefully you're doing well, man. Brady going against a fellow Brady. Yeah. But I've been picking against Brady a lot. I think I picked against him in the Tercios fight. Moses. I picked him against Fernie Garcia, but there was another fight. Oh, I picked who the heck did he fight last time?
Denab.
Denab. Yeah, I picked Denab to knock him out, and he dropped him, but didn't knock him out. Best of luck to you as well, Chris. 3 goats hit the like. Appreciate you, Spencer. All right, guys, we'll keep moving on. We have Timmy Kwamba going against Lucas Almeida. I hate this fight. I hate it. But we'll see what you guys come up with on this one. We got Timmy Kwamba opening up minus 225, currently minus 186. Lucas Almeida opening up plus 190, currently plus 161. We'll start with Propaholic. What are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, I mean, I actually really like this fight. I think this is going to be pretty much of a banger. It's actually like one of my favorite fights on the card. I like Lucas Almeida here. I mean, I think the line is wide. I think Timmy's not bad. I mean, I don't think his grappling is that good. I don't think his wrestling is that good either. He has good hands. He has good footwork. But, I mean, Almeida has really good leg kicks. I know he looks stiff against Andre Fili, but, like, he was plus 140 against Fili, and now you're getting a better price on him in this spot. I just feel like it's recency bias here. Like, I think Almeida has a good left hook. He has really good pressure as well. I mean, if this is the Lucas Almeida who fought Daniel Zellhuber and Mike Trezano, he's going to look like a clear favorite here, and there's no doubt in my mind. He probably has a power edge here. Timmy hasn't faced anyone like Almeida who's willing to close the range and land power shots. And yeah, he landed a lot of shots in the Contender Series fight against Vogel. But Vogel, as the fight moved on, Vogel was able to push that pace. He was actually able to land a lot of leg kicks as well. And that's what Lucas actually does very well. I mean, before he got knocked out stiff against Andre Fili, they were just trading kicks back and forth and back and forth. And I think his takedown defense is going to hold up as well. He has good judo. He has good knees in the clinch. This guy's not Pat Sabatini. He's not just going to throw him down like a rag doll. So, yeah, I think Almeida's very live. I think a sneaky bet is Almeida by decision as well at plus 600. I think he can win a decision here. I think he can land the bigger shots. I think he can land the leg kicks. I think he can stop the takedowns, and I think he could do more damage. So, yeah, give me that Lucas Almeida money line. I think it's wide, and I think he could teach a lesson to this kid. And I didn't think the short performance that on a short notice that he fought against Oki was making his debut as well. I know he was up a weight class on short notice, but still, like, Oki made his debut as well. So, yeah, I think this line is wide. So, give me Almeida here as the dog. I think he's really live.
What do you see the best line on Almeida at? Like plus?
I have to check best fight odds quick.
I saw plus 170, I think, on Caesars, but I'm not sure if it's still there. But I'll find you the best line, and then we'll pass it to Gordo. Gordo, what do you like for this fight?
Yeah, man, I think I'm seeing it a bit differently here than Propaholic this week. I completely understand taking the dog shot. Plus money looks good, all right? But I do think Timothy Kwamba is a guy whose just style is going to work out better against a guy like Lucas Almeida. In my opinion, Lucas Almeida is a guy who is typically going to be KO or bust. He does not wrestle at a very good clip. He does not really land volume too high either, and he's a guy who's also can be hurt. Although Timothy Kwamba kind of resembles like a Walmart Neil Magny in the fact that he doesn't really excel at anything. He's just got good cardio, good durability, and pretty decent wrestling and volume. He's not a big finisher. He's a guy who's typically going to go out there and utilize volume, potentially some grappling as well to go over there and be the more well-rounded fighter. He's not someone who's going to be levels above in any category, but where his opponents struggle, he can fight in all aspects there. That fight short notice against Oki up a weight class was something that I personally was on him for, and it was just too big of a challenge. Now back where he's supposed to be on a normal camp, he has all his attributes there. And I think he's a pretty cerebral fighter when it comes to it, whether that be landing takedowns, whether that be being the better counter striker of the two. And I do think he has just more paths to getting it done. I don't want to go out there and lay minus 200 on him, though. I would much rather go out there and trust Almeida's durability and really play into the fact that Kwamba's not the best finisher, in my opinion. Just take Kwamba by decision. Plus 240, I think he's a guy who has a wrestling path to victory. I think he's a guy who can land more volume. I just see him getting raised more often than not. I'd rather chase the plus money on the decision than go out there and hope he finishes a guy in Almeida who might be chinny, might be not. Who knows? Give me Kwamba by decision, though.
All right. Kwamba decision plus 240, and then Lucas Almeida money line plus 164. Propaholic was the best line I found. And I do want to apologize to Rio in the chat. I did not mean to ban you. I really didn't. I meant to delete your comment because it was a terrible comment. It was a very hateful comment. So I meant to delete your comment, and then somebody else commented at the same time. So I accidentally banned you. So Rio, if you're still watching this, I apologize, but you are officially banned from the channel, and there's really nothing I can do. There's really nothing I can do at this point. So I'm sorry. I think you're like the second person I banned this year, which I think is great. I'm doing a good job of not banning many people unless I really need to. But that one was absolutely an accident. So Rio, I apologize, but you are no longer able to comment ever again. So sorry. Very sorry. Everybody shout out to Rio. Rio, it was a good run. It was a great run, but you're gone. Yeah, I didn't even mean to ban him, man. I didn't mean to ban him, but he did say something pretty terrible. I mean, it wasn't even that bad. It was just it wasn't great. Dictator, it was an accident. It was an accident. Keep that full ban. Yeah, I mean, I could unban him, but it would take like 10 minutes, and I don't want to take the time to do that. What was the comment? I don't even want to bring it up. I don't even bring it up. Yeah, R.I.P. Rio. It's been give everybody like the video for Rio. Let's get those likes up. Everybody like the video for Rio. Let's do it. And yeah, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do for you, Rio. I mean, it sucks. It sucks, but it is what it is. Yeah, everybody's saying R.I.P. Rio in the chat. Yeah. Sorry. Appreciate you, Rio, for. I feel bad, but all right. Let's move on to the next fight. We have the co-main event, which I am shocked this is a co-main event, but it is. We got Miles Johns going against Douglas Silva de Andrade. We have Miles Johns opening up plus 105, currently minus 160. Douglas Silva de Andrade opening up minus 125, currently plus 140. We will start with you, Propaholic. What are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit shocked to see that Douglas Silva de Andrade's money line climb up to plus 142. I'm gonna go with that. I actually have a track bet on him at minus 113, so I got a little bit reverse CLV here. I mean, the thing about Miles Johns is we saw him get the pace pushed on him against Castaneda. I know Douglas de Silva Andrade. She's now 39 years old. He could have had a bad weight cut. He got knocked down against Cody Stamann last fight. I know it's not a good look, but I mean, I think he's honestly more durable at 39 years old with all these fights going than Miles Johns is. I mean, Miles Johns, yeah, he looked good last fight. He won at 30-27, but there were still moments where he was in like pretty bad trouble against Gibson. All Miles Johns does, he doesn't really throw a lot of leg kicks either. He's going to get hit to the body a lot here. Douglas de Silva Andrade has great kicks to the body, and he has great power as well, and he's really explosive. And Miles Johns, all he does is throw the overhand right, and then he tries to cage push you, and he goes like 2 for 10 on takedowns almost every single fight. Like beating Dan Argueta, I was on Miles Johns at plus 180 there. I mean, Dan Argueta's a punching bag, and all he does is grapple, and that was his UFC debut. Like, I just feel like Douglas de Silva Andrade is a huge, honestly, an up and test for Miles Johns. So, yeah, I like Douglas de Silva Andrade here. I think he can break Miles Johns. I think people are kind of just outriding him because he's 39 years old at bantamweight, but I think he gets the job done here. I think he's going to shock a lot of people.
So you're just taking the money line, or do you want?
Yeah, just the money line at plus 142.
All right, Douglas Silva Andrade money line plus 142 for Propaholic. Gordo, what are you liking for this co-main event?
Well, let's pour one out for Rio as we go through this one. Brady, you know, I get often called way too optimistic about fights. You know, I work over there at Established Runs with Brett Apley, and he calls me all the time. He's like, you care way too much, but you're way too optimistic. Too much positive energy. I got none for this one. I could care less about this fight, honestly, respectfully. And maybe it's because I've had a bad history with these two. Maybe it's because I don't believe they should be in the co-main event. Maybe it's because they're just both untrustworthy. And it's just one where you could not pay me to make a pick on this one. This is my pass. I've been waiting for it all day. I honestly don't know what's higher, Douglas Silva Andrade's body fat percentage or Miles Johns' IQ. They're both extremely low for their own reasons. And although Douglas Silva Andrade is looking like he's ripped, he's what, 39 years old, a guy who is primarily based on KO success, in my opinion, because he doesn't really win minutes all too often. Miles Johns is a guy who I can't trust to go out there and inflict the most damage to win a decision. I just don't want to play this fight. So I'll cheer for Propaholic. I'll cheer for him because I don't got any action on it.
Yeah, I'll cheer for him as well because I'll be rooting for Douglas Silva de Andrade. I'm just with you, Gordo. I don't want to put any money on this fight whatsoever. I just don't want to put any money on this fight at all. So, yeah, it's a big pass for me as well. Gordo taking his only pass for the card. Probaholic taking the dog shot on Douglas Silva de Andrade at plus 142. All right, we'll move on to the main event. If you guys have not already, be sure to like the video. I think we passed 100 likes. Appreciate you guys for that. I think we're approaching 150, which is ridiculous for this card because this card has taken some hits, just like our friend Rio took a big hit today and getting blocked, unfortunately. But yeah, main event. We got Tatsuto Taira going against Alex Perez. We got Taira opening up -1 or -250, currently -221. Alex Perez opening up +210, currently +186. Looks like some money as of late has came in on Tatsuto Taira. We will start with Probaholic. What are you liking for this main event?
Yeah, I personally don't have a bet, but I gotta pick something here. So I'm actually gonna go with that over 2.5 at -135 on Bet US. I just feel like Taira's not gonna get that early submission. I know it's his first 5-round fight as well. I know we just saw Perez knock out Nico out, but it's like Perez is getting submitted by like really high-level guys such as Figueiredo, who has a nasty guillotine choke, and getting submitted by Pantoja, which there's absolutely no shame in that. I think Taira is going to get him down, but I mean, I think Perez has really good sprawls. He showed it in the Muhammad Mokaev fight, and if this fight gets over 2.5, like Perez can start to dictate the pace with the boxing. If he stops the takedowns, I think it could be a close fight. So yeah, and over 2.5 for flyweight in a 5-round main event. I just feel like it's a pretty good look here. I think there's only a finish here. It's probably going to be a Taira submission, and I just don't see that coming so early as well. So yeah, I'll take that over 2.5 at -135.
All right, over 2.5 in the main event, -135. Yeah, 10 p.m. main card start time is treacherous. I mean, I'm already tired. Like I'm about to fall asleep right now, so I can't imagine what it's going to be like at 10 o'clock tonight. Gordo, what are you liking for the main event?
Yeah, man. I'm seeing also this one a bit differently here, too. I think it's a side where, although I am happy Alex Perez is being more active, I think it's one where Tatsuto Taira is the A side. He is fighting for a very big market over there in Japan, and he is going to be their best prospect over there. He has been very dynamic. He is someone who takes the back very well. Phenomenal ground game, but we also haven't seen too many weaknesses from the guy. He looks to have some pretty good technical striking on the feet. He's someone who can compete up there as well, and he's someone who I just think is the one they're trying to promote here to have some success. I think he's a guy who's able to go out there, take the back pretty easily, and additionally with a guy like Alex Perez, who, yes, does have a good first layer of takedown defense with his sprawls, gives up his back way too often for my liking. He's a guy who likes to turn to his knees to get up, and in doing so give the back. And against a guy like Tatsuto Taira, who is as dynamic and youthful and smart, I think, as he is, I think he's someone who's able to take advantage of that. I'm on the Taira to the distance play. It's juiced, it's shocked. I'm not so proud of it, but I do think it's the most likely outcome in this matchup. He is someone who is going to be very dynamic. He's someone who will be able to transition to the back. He's got a phenomenal triangle series. He's got a phenomenal ability to snatch the armbar up as well. He is very, very dynamic. And although Perez has shown to have a very, very good first level wrestling defense and only be submitted by the best, I really do rate Tatsuto Taira's submission game highly, as well as his positional position. I don't know if that's the word, positionality, the way he's able to position himself on the mat there to maybe get a potential KO stoppage as well. I don't want to limit myself to just submission here, so I do think he has more ways than one to getting it done. I'm on this kid to do well here, man. I do like him, and I do think he gets it done.
All right, Taira inside the distance. The best price I saw is actually -105.
I'll take that. Thank you very much, my friend.
Yep. Yes, sir. What do you guys got in the chat? Taira sub round 3. On weight, Perez is a new mythical fighter. Yeah, I mean, he weighed in first yesterday. This is a guy that went from, missing weight, pulling out of fights, getting fights canceled because he came in overweight, to being the first one weighing in. So shout out to Alex Perez. Looks like he's taken this very, very seriously. Perez by decision. I haven't heard that take much this week, Elijah one, but I bet it's a big, big plus money number. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. It probably sucks for some of you guys. 10 p.m. start times are BS. I mean, I don't hate it. Like maybe like a pay-per-view, that's fine. I get it. But for UFC Vegas 93, I mean, it's unacceptable. Unacceptable. Jekka under 0.5. If Jekka Sergey shoots a takedown, well, that would be the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen in my entire life. So yes, he should get less than 0.5 takedowns there. Yes, and that's expected out of a young guy in Taira. 24 years old. He's going to be improving. 6 more likes to 150. And then Waldo says you guys get something. What do they get, Waldo, if they get 150? Perez has fought the top fighters. That is true. That is true. What else we got? Brady Taira KO round 1 and round 2. I haven't heard that take as well. Probably massive numbers there. He has a lot of power. 2 likes. I'm starting to edge. What? Come on, Waldo.
Hey, if Waldo's free, we might have to lock him back up here at this rate.
Yeah, come on, Waldo. Get some help, Waldo. Taira by rear naked choke or something goofy. Maybe a knee bar, unsure of the odds. Yeah, potentially. But I know MGM has those submission props, which I'm going to take a look at where they have like Weston Wilson by like toe hold or knee bar, something meme for Weston Wilson. I want to see what those are. All right, guys. Waldo is getting very freaky, and it's kind of freaking me out a little bit. So I need to get out of here within the next 5 minutes because I am getting freaked out. But let's do a quick recap and give our best bet for the card. All right. So we got it up here. Propaholic, you are taking Knutson decision plus 100. Costa KO plus 450. Wilson submission plus 525. Passing on the Fernandez fight. You're taking Maness fight won't start round 2 minus 110. You're taking the fight ends by knockout in the Quinlan Fugit fight. Also Almabayev by submission minus 110. Armfield Heston fight doesn't go to decision plus 110. Lucas Almeida money line plus 164. Douglas Silva de Andrade money line plus 142. And the over 2.5 rounds in the main event minus 135. Does all that look correct? And if so, what is your best bet for the entire card?
Yeah, that's all correct. I'm gonna go a little bit big here. I'm gonna go with that Costa KO at plus 450. I just think he's the much better striker. I think he's gonna land more body shots. I think he's gonna stop the wrestling of Nuremberg. I think he's gonna be able to sprawl, and I think he has the much better cardio, much diverse striking as well. Nuremberg is gonna try to swing overhands. This is gonna leave the left body kick open, and he does fade as well. So yeah, give me that Costa KO. I think he could find a finish. I think it could be a body shot. I think it could be a head kick. I think it could be a left hand straight. And yeah, so Costa KO at plus 450. That's going to be my shot and best bet of the card.
All right. So yeah, if you hit this bet, your profit's going to double. So instead of Costa KO 4.5 units, you're going to get 9 units on a Costa KO. And then Gordo, you are taking Knutson minus 3.5 point spread plus 110. The Nuremberg money line plus 175. Weston Wilson inside the distance plus 350. Fernandez KO decision minus 140. Maness round 2 plus 325. Quinlan money line minus 130. Asa Almabayev by submission minus 110. Brady Heston round 3 plus 2,500. Kwamba by decision plus 240. You're passing on the Johns fight and you're taking Tatsuto Taira inside the distance minus 105. Is all that look correct? And if so, what is your best bet for the card?
Before we do so, can we just take a second to look how low level my picks are? Like, when would I ever be picking all these fighters at the same time? It is a ugly card.
One of those cards.
So let's go big or go home. You Prop wants to go big. Let me one up him here a little. No, I'm just messing with you. Give me Brady Heston round 3. Give me 50 units on this one. All right. It's one that's probably not going to hit, but when it does, you're skyrocketing me to the top, right? So it's called Gordo Gambles for a reason. It's not Gordo Takes It Easy, right?
Yeah, I think it's actually super live. Like if this fight reaches the 3rd round, you're going to be sitting there loving it, I think. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. So Gordo taking the Heston round 3 plus 2,500. Propaholic is taking the Costa KO plus 450. Both guys kind of shooting for the moon here. All right. So yeah, before we get out of here, going to kick it around. We will throw it to Gordo. Let the people know where they can find you.
For sure, man. Thanks for having me on. As always a fun time talking some picks, and hopefully able to go out here and make some money tonight. You can find all my work on the Plays and Fades YouTube channel there, as well as I do some work with Establish the Run. I over there do the podcast and help out Brett Apley with all that work over there. So if you want any DFS advice, aside from the great DFS advice that Brady gives, be sure to check that out as well. Wish everyone the best of luck on their UFC endeavors this week. And a Propaholic, best luck to you as well, man. Hope you're able to hit some tickets here.
Yeah, me, Gordo, Wheezy, and Monk are going to be doing the big return for the DFS show due to popular demand. I didn't know it was that popular, but a lot of people have been asking about it. But due to popular demand, the DFS show will be back on this channel, DFS by the Numbers, Wednesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time, starting for UFC 303. So glad to be doing a show with Gordo. It's been a while. So looking forward to that. Propaholic, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, so you guys can find me on Twitter at MMA_Propaholic. I have my Discord linked in there as well. I already have 3 bets for UFC Saudi Arabia, so I've already been to work on that card. And yeah, let's have a good card. I need a bounce back card this week. Brady, thank you for having me on. Gordo, best of luck to you as well. And let's make some money. And yeah, if it's a 10 o'clock card like this, get the beers flowing because it's going to be a long night. They're going to pause in between some fights here, man. So, yep.
It'll be the longest night ever, I think. But yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you all so much for watching, joining, interacting in the chat. If you guys could, once more, like the video on your way out, subscribe to the channel. Me and Uncle Weasel will be back tomorrow, 7 o'clock or 7:15 Eastern time for Stat Diggers for UFC Saudi Arabia. So yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Best of luck. Enjoy the fights, and we'll talk to you soon. See you later.